Hi, it's George here. The second Friday of January, which this year was January the 10th, is termed Quitters Day. And I hadn't heard about Quitters Day, but for some reason it was popping up in my feed this year. Uh, Definitely not an omen, by the way. I don't quit. But what was interesting, the the rationale behind the day or the meaning behind the day is the second Friday of each year signifies normally when individuals stop chasing their resolutions or their goals. And there's some other research as well, which would suggest that it's probably a little bit later in January. But the story there is that at some point in January, people stop chasing their goals for the upcoming year or the year to come, which got me thinking. Firstly, why was I getting that on my feed? But more to the point, what is it about resolutions and goals that individuals tend to stop chasing them, or they sort of fall into the background and then they continue with life and then they continue doing what they were doing the year before? And yes, there is a school of thought that you would say that maybe your goal is not specific enough and you don't follow a particular process where it's so clear in your mind about what you want to achieve. And there's some principles around the SMART goals and all that that you could follow that could get you to a point where you've got a set of goals that are meaningful and relate to something that you want to chase for the upcoming year. But I got myself thinking around what happens if you've gone through a process like that, which I have, by the way. But what is it about this time of year? So you're sort of coming towards the end of January that you feel the weight of the previous year bearing down on you. And and certainly for me, the goal setting process for me this year was actually pretty easy because I was clear about what I wanted to achieve. So it got me thinking about maybe there's something else at play, and it's not just the quality of your goals. And let's assume you've got that, down pat, and the goals are actually clear, specific, and measurable, and you know exactly what you need to achieve. And a few years ago, one of my leaders said to me, "There's no point setting goals if you don't go through an exercise of a stop, start, and continue exercise." And I'll talk about that and why I think it's pretty meaningful for this time of year. But I think at any point where you want to sort of pull the handbrake up and really take stock of where you're at. I love that energy that comes with a new year. I love the energy in terms of the clarity of goals and what you want to focus on. But this stop, start, and continue is probably a really good way for you to maybe just think about the way you chase your goals from a different angle. So the stop, start, and continue is if you've got a goal and it's clear and you feel that you're slipping a bit, the stop, start, and continue signifies around what are the activities that you need to stop doing, start doing, and continue doing. Why is it important? Again, my leader who introduced me to this exercise said that don't take anything new on by way of a goal or a habit or a way of working if you're not willing to let go of something. We've got finite energy, we've got finite time, and to assume that we can continue loading ourselves with new things to do but not letting anything go, it's just flawed. We'll get to a point where, with all good intention, you'll get to a point where you say, "Look, I'm getting tired," but you don't know why. So the stop, or the stop, start, and continue is what are the things that you want to let go? What are the activities, the habits, maybe even the connections that you have that you need to stop? They've served you well in the past, but moving forward, it's probably time to let them go. That's really important because then that sets the scene for you to then be able to take on new things, and that's a start. And the start part of the stop, start, and continue is, what are the things I'm going to start doing? And you do need to be specific. You need to be specific about the kind of habits and rituals and connections and ways of working that you want to start doing. And the continue part of that is acknowledging that there are things that worked last year that still serve you well today and moving forward, and you need to give them a bit of a nod and say, yep, those habits and rituals are exactly what I need to continue doing. So that's the stop, start, and continue. There's just one little part around this, around the stop, start, and continue, which is the sequence. Once you've done your stop, you need to then put into place when you're going to stop some of those habits, rituals, processes, connections, and put them into action. Because there's no point starting something if you do not let something go, if it makes sense. So start with a stop and then continue on to the start, where then you can, with a little more energy and a little more headspace, start introducing new things into the way you work to help you out. And with the continue, that's really just acknowledging everything that you're doing and keep doing what you're doing. Hope that was useful. Chat to you soon. Cheers.